Hey lovelies, it's Heather. I'm just gonna make this short video. I don't even know if anybody should watch it in all honesty, but I'm just putting it out there because it's just a thing. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to just kind of relax and mind my own business and stuff. And summertime's coming up with my daughter, and I'm sitting here thinking what rotten ass place like that my parents could like take my kid that I've not been able to take her. That way they have the bragging rights. That way they have the pictures. That way they have all this shit and everything, you know. And I got to thinking about how okay, I had my baby. I had my baby young, but I have taken care of her. I've been there. Now, I've not taken care of her financially because every time I tried to get a job, every time I tried to do anything for as far as dealing with my family, and I love my parents, and I'm suffering because of it. And every time they told me no, and every time I listened to them, and every time nothing was good enough for them. And so I've sat here and I've dealt with all this shit that has kept me from living my own life and being able to provide better for my daughter. And then I finally got to a point where I was providing for my daughter. And my family's basically telling me that it's not good enough, you know. And then, yeah, I'm battling depression. And yeah, when you've come from what I've came from, that's going to happen to you. You can't put anybody in the situation that I've been in and them not have depression. I don't believe. I don't believe anybody could get through it without becoming depressed. And I've done the best that I can. And so I was going to counseling like I was told to do by the court to get my kid back. And they didn't give her back. And the counselor didn't even care to show up at the courthouse. She didn't care to show up. And my attorney didn't even care to subpoena her because she didn't want to be subpoenaed. And my counselor asked me one day when I was there, she said, what is something that's really good to you? What is something that you can look forward to? What is a goal? What is a plan? I know you have goals to drive and get your license. I know you have plans to make more money and, buy a bigger place to live and this and that, and stuff. She's like, but what are your goals? What are your plans in life? What is something that makes you happy? And what was it? I was talking to her about how angry I was because of everything, and she's like, okay, well, when you get angry, what's something you can think about that'll help you calm down? What is something that can take you out? And so basically she's asking me to come up with my one desire, my one dream, my one goal. And I told her flat out, I said to take my daughter to the beach. I said to take my daughter to the beach. She said to picture a place that, she said to close my eyes whenever I get angry and to picture a place, and to go there in my mind to calm myself. And so she, it's like, where is it? And I'm like, the beach. And she's like, okay, And it's like, I've even been made fun of, for liking the beach from my own fucking family. My whole life. They've laughed at me whenever I've been like, hey, I'm gonna move to a beach, or hey, I like the beach, or hey, I wanna go. They're like, yeah, so what? Who gives a shit? I mean, they're just negative. And so, anyways, back to when I was with the counselor and when I was doing my counseling that I was supposed to have and all this, trying to get my kid back, and I couldn't get there, and so it just didn't fucking matter because you can't do what you can't do. But she asked me that, and so I closed my eyes and I was like, I pictured myself at the beach, And she's like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm there with my daughter. And I'm like, because my daughter's only been to the beach one time when she was 2. And she don't, or she was almost 2. No, she was 2. And I was like, she don't remember it. And I was like, and I want to take her to the beach. And I want it to just be me and her. And I want to hang out with her. And I want to see that look in her eyes when she sees the beach. And I want to know that I put that joy, onto her face. That I took her, and like, because like everything else that I've ever promised my daughter, anything, because I've always needed help. It's like when you can't drive and you're like, okay, I'll take you here, and you call the person, they're like, yeah, I'll be there, and then everybody always gets sidetracked because you're never a priority to them. And so I ended up breaking a lot of promises to my kid, and this is one that, I thought I could actually fucking keep, and I was like, baby, whenever I get a car, that's the first thing we're gonna do. That's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the beach. Even if I don't have enough money for a motel room and we're only there to hang out for a couple hours and then for me to have to turn around and drive right back, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I was like, because I want to give that to you, and I want that to be something between me and you. And I was so close to it. I was so close. I had my own place. I was working. I was saving up my money. And all I needed was my parents. And they could have even helped me the year before to get a car. They could have took me, but they didn't care to. They didn't care to. Because they don't care anything about helping me. And I don't have anybody, else that would have drove me to go pick up or look at a car. And what are you going to do? You going to call people and be like, hey, I might buy your car, drive it by where I live so I can look at it and think about it. It don't work like that. And I can't afford $60 and $80 in a fucking cab. Or even, if it would have been cheaper, $40 in a fucking Uber every time I want to go look at a fucking vehicle. And so, that was my thing that I told the counselor that I really wanted to do, and then I'll be damned. Like, maybe a month later, or just a few weeks later, my kid's not showing up at visitation when I'm sitting there, and I'm like, where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are they? And so I'm like writing my kid, and I'm like, hey baby, where are you? Hey, are you coming? And she's not responding, and so I panicked. And so I called the cops to go check and see, because she's not even responding, telling me, anything. And then my mom sends me a text message and is like, oh, we're coming back from the beach. And that's the reason we can't come to visitation, is because we just got back from the beach. Like, I even begged them. I begged them just a few years ago when I still had custody of my daughter. I said, can y'all just be the ride? I said, Dad, I will pay for the fucking motel room for me and Ava, my daughter, and I will pay for one for you and Mom if you will just take us to the beach. And he wouldn't do it. Oh God, I feel sick. Like, what do you do with that? Like, if you could put yourself in my shoes in that situation, what do you do with that? What do you do when your parents are like such fucking goddamn greedy ass monsters that they have to rip everything from you? I don't even have probably one damn picture of my damn daughter that they don't have, except for maybe a school photo. Because my mother was always the one that was there, that was driving us, that was taking us, and every time I went to go take a picture of my daughter, she had to take one too. Like, I mean, I have the special memories of when I was home alone with my kid that my mother doesn't have. And I'm grateful for that. But when I want to do something for my kid, and I want to take my kid somewhere, and I want it to just be me and her, and I want it to be something, that's nice, something that's really nice, and I want to do it for my fucking daughter. And they take her. Tell me how the hell I'm not supposed to sit here and think to myself, why the fuck shouldn't I just kill myself? Why the fuck shouldn't I just put a bullet in my head right now? Why should I just kill myself? You tell me why the fuck. I should not think that. Because that's all I keep thinking, because I'm sitting here right now and I know summer's coming up and I know they're probably going to take her to do something. And even if they don't, they done took her to the damn beach without me. That was a dream of mine, and they have crushed every fucking dream I've ever had. And that is all that they ever do to me, and I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. And then they try to tell me that I don't care about them, and that I don't love them. Yet I let them sit here and crush everything that I've ever wanted. And then they took my one and only kid from me. They didn't come and talk to me. They didn't say anything to me. They got mad because I stood up to them for the first time ever. Because I told my dad no. And they took my kid from me. And they can sit there and say that they did it for the reasons that they gave to the court. But they didn't. They're too mean. They're too mean. They didn't take her because I threatened my life in front of her. They didn't take her because of that. That's not they don't give a shit about her. They give a shit about hurting me. And they give a shit about hurting me because they're supposed to be able to control me 24/7. And the first time ever, I told my dad no. And so he took my kid from me to try to break me, to teach me to not tell him no. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? And I'm sitting here and I'm just trying to think about my own stuff and all this. And then I'm sitting here and I'm watching this thing and it mentions amusement parks and all these places that people go, to celebrate and stuff like that or whatever. And it shows, or it does show, but whenever I think of the theme park, I think, yeah, that's probably where the fuck they'll end up taking her this damn summer because I'm mad because they took her to the damn beach, And then I thought, and I would love to have been there with my baby girl. And, I would love to, on the behalf of my daughter, see the pictures of her at the beach. But if I see a photo of her where she went to the beach, even though to step out of myself and to not be selfish and look at it and be happy for her, it's gonna be like I'm murdering my own self on the inside because it hurts so bad, because I wanted that so bad, and I'm so sick of wanting things and never getting a damn thing that I want. So you tell me why the hell I'm supposed to be some happy person that's supposed to sit here and think that my life is so good. You tell me why the fuck I'm supposed to see any fucking value in myself when nobody, my own fucking parents and my own fucking family don't see any value in me. You tell me why the fuck I'm supposed to care about myself. I'm sitting here with a busted ankle. I'm sitting here so stressed out, and my blood pressure just going up even higher right now. I can feel it because I'm getting so hot. You tell me why the fuck I'm supposed to care when nobody else does. And then for my daughter, at least I guess I taught her to not be like me in the way that, and I'm not saying this is an insult if my kid sees it, but I taught her not to be like me in the way that she's just like everybody else, that she's so greedy and she's got her head so far up her own ass. She's so greedy and she's got her head so far up her own ass. She don't see what she's doing to me. She don't care what she's doing to me. because it's all been about her, and and I get that she's my kid, and it's supposed to be, but at the same time, it's not gonna hurt for her to have some respect for me. And when I've sat there every year, every 6 months at least, especially, or even during the whole summer, for 3 and 4 weeks straight, we're gonna go to the beach once I get a car. I just gotta get a car, pray mommy gets a car, pray mommy has enough money, if you really are worried about it. But if you're not, then don't worry about it, but know that I'm legitimately gonna take you to the beach once I get a vehicle. And for her to know that, and her still to jump on the opportunity because it's there, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what men do whenever they cheat on their wives. Well, the opportunity was there. And that's what's wrong with everybody. Well, the opportunity was there, so I just had to take it. I don't care if it hurts somebody's feelings or not. Why the fuck are any of us alive? Why the fuck should I be alive? Apparently, I'm just a huge waste. I don't fucking know. Apparently I'm just a huge waste. I'm just a pain in everybody's ass. I don't do anything good, supposedly, in their eyes, because I can't kiss somebody's ass 24/7. And people have become so fucking self-absorbed that that's all that they want. I don't even know how I'm gonna make it through the fucking weekend. I just miss my kids so much. And I know I said yesterday that I didn't want to put a video up of me crying and everything, but I don't give a fuck. I'm tired. I don't give a fuck. People want to make fun of me because I'm fucking crying. I don't see why, if they can make fun, I don't see why they don't ask me for my fucking address and I'll just give it to them and they can just come and they can kill me. They can kill me. They say that they say, or whatever, that I'm useless because I'm crying. Because crying, that means you're useless. You cry about something, you're useless. Or, you cry about it and you put it out public, you put it on fucking YouTube. You're a useless piece of shit. Well, what the fuck are you? Have you ever looked in the goddamn mirror? What the fuck are you? You never cry, apparently. You're fucking perfect. Or you only cry with your family. Or you only cry with your this, or whatever. What must be fucking nice? I'm sitting here alone right now. If I cry in front of my grandmother, she tells me to suck it up and not get emotional. Same with my dad, same with my mom. My kid is the only person that I can even try to show any emotion in front of, alone. She's the only one that cares, too, because she sees me crying, she comes and she hugs me. And she's like, Mommy, I'm sorry, that you're hurting or that you're upset, or if she's done something, she'll apologize. She'll say, I'm sorry that I said this or I did that. And then usually it's like, I'm like, no, it's not that, it's other stuff too. And I'll be like, can you just hold me? And she'll just hug me. And she'll just sit there with me. And then that stupid fucking damn movie that's coming out, A Dog's Journey. And I'm sitting here and the one line in the fucking thing. And it's like, the biggest thing that I've learned sometimes is just being there. And I look over, and Clarabelle's just laying here beside me, and I'm thinking, I love this dog so fucking much, because she's here with me, and she's right by my side, and so is my other pets, and that's all that it is. That's all that it is sometimes. That's all that it takes sometimes to show somebody that you care about them, is to be there with them. But apparently only pets care about me, because humans don't. And so, what the fuck? I don't understand. I don't understand why I'm suffering so much. I don't understand why it's so unfair. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. And then whenever I do try to live like everybody else and be that real mean, hateful person, which I can't even stand to try to be, but every time I try to be, it ends up backfiring. It doesn't matter what I do, the outcome's always the same. And it's not the thing like, oh, the definition of insanity is to, do the same thing and expect different results. I've tried many different things. The only thing I've not tried is to run away. Like, is running away really And then if I'm gonna run away and risk how shitty life can be when you run away. Because when you run away, if you don't have money and you run away, and I don't have money and you run away, and then there's no telling what type of life, you could end up sleeping out in the cold, you could end up, starving to death, you could end up freezing to death, you could end up all this shit, all this bad shit, and I guess I'm just supposed to risk it, I don't know, and put it all dependent on God. But if I do that, then I don't need assholes coming along and being like, hey, why did you do that? Hey, you're a piece of shit for doing that. Hey, you're a piece of shit for running away. Hey, you're a piece of... I don't need that. But if I'm gonna do that, then what's the difference between a toss-up of just committing suicide and seeing if I go to hell or heaven? Like, it seems basically the same type of fucking thing. Run away, no money, no life, no nothing. Have to leave the pets here, or have to take them with me and watch them probably end up dying because I can't take care of them. Do that, and just see where the fuck it takes me. When everything inside of my head and everything I've been taught is screaming at me, no, that it's gonna be bad and that, I'm gonna become some horrible ass person if I do shit like that. Or just go ahead and be a horrible person, commit suicide, and just go to hell. Because if I'm just going to start down a path that might lead me there, then what the fuck? The people that are alone suffer the most. And even though we are all innately, alone, because we are all initially our own individual beings, and no two people are exactly alike. But to have no friends, to have no family. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. But I just had to go ahead and make this video. I had to get it out. I tried to cry yesterday, and I did some after I shot yesterday's video, trying to get all this shit off my chest, and then I'm sitting here, and that fucking commercial for that damn movie come on, and then I'm sitting here going through this thing, and all this pops up, and all these thoughts flood my head about my kid, and about how much I miss her, and it happens every day, all the time, like every time I turn a fucking corner. And it's like, she's lived here with me, she lived in the apartment with me, she's been my life, and it's like, everything reminds me of her all the time, and the pets even remind me of her all the time. It's a lot easier to deal with, if somebody's dead, because I've had family members die and I miss them, but it's a lot easier to be like, well, they're dead, I can't bring them back, so there's that memory, and I remember this time they were here, and it's easier to deal with that because that they necessarily didn't choose to, walk out of your life, but then again, you don't even know that, because technically everybody chooses to walk out of life, in all honesty, but then again, not, because it's just gonna happen even if they don't choose it. And that's like my cousin Misty, and the way that she died in a car wreck, was she just so miserable with her life that she just decided to turn the wheel, or did she fall asleep, you never know. And it's like my kid has chose to go over there, and even though I can't say that she has chose to stay, because she's not talking to me, and that's not normal for her. She talked to me every day nonstop. But for her to choose to go over there, it hurt. But then she wanted to throw it on me whenever she'd started to walk out that night, like I was telling her to go. And I was like, no, I'm not telling you to go. But I'm telling you to make a choice. And then that's another thing, too, is I watched what was it? Tyler Perry's, the Halloween one, Boo something another, or Madea. Yeah, Madea, not Tyler Perry. Well, it's his. But anyways, that Madea Halloween one, and how at the end he's arguing with his daughter, and he finally stands up to his daughter, and he's finally like, you can either stay here and abide by the rules, or you can go. And the kid apologizes, and that's what was going on between me and my kid. That's basically what was going on between me and my child. Now, the character portrayed in the movie was like 17 or 16 or some shit, I don't know. And my daughter was 11. But still, that's what was going on. And people want to be like, oh, you're a bad parent because she's going through that at 11. She shouldn't be going through that at 11. You can't control the way that things happen. You can try to, and you can try to guide them. But that's just like, I didn't want my daughter knowing anything about dealing with sex until she was way older. And she found out over at her papa and nana's house, because they wasn't watching her. I'd done everything. I'd warned them. I'd told them. I'd gave them rules. I was like, don't let this happen. And they didn't mind. They didn't abide by my rules that I tried to set for my own kid over at their house. Because it's their house and they're going to do what they want to do. And they did what they wanted to do, and it corrupted my child to a degree, if you view that as a corruption. Which I didn't. But I viewed it as something that she really shouldn't have known about until she was way older. But she knew about it way younger. And that's what's happening with every generation, is everybody's knowing about things way younger than what the fuck they're supposed to. Don't hate the parents for it. Especially if the parent has done everything that they can to try to keep it from happening. But it just occurs naturally anyways. God, my head hurts so bad. And my stomach was hurting so bad yesterday. I literally was so worried. I about called damn paramedics out. Because I think I'm just so stressed out. I'm just so depressed, and it's affecting my whole everything. And I'm trying not to be. Like, even my grandmother being gone right now, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I can kind of enjoy it, but I can't enjoy it the way that I want to. Because anything I do, she's going to come back. And she has to have things her way, and my parents have to have things their way. But they can't, they are so fucking self-absorbed that they can't respect me having things my way, and they couldn't respect me having things my way with my kid. Yet they were supposed to be able to have things their way with their children. Like, what do you do when your parents are going to hate you forever? Like, what do you do with that? It's like, basically like, oh, my grandmother could put on makeup and she was beautiful, and my mom could put on makeup and she was beautiful. My sister could put on makeup and she was beautiful. I put on makeup and I'm a whore. It's like, it's always going to be like that. They can drive and they're smart. And my grandmother could even drive. She's smart, she's smart enough to figure it out now. They deserve to have a vehicle. They deserve this. They deserve that. But when it gets to me, they can't see that I am the same as them, that I'm a human being and I need to be respected. fuck am I gonna do? Running away ain't gonna make them respect me. Not unless by the grace of God some wonderful shit happens. Committing suicide ain't gonna make them respect me. There is nothing that can make them respect me as a human being other than them doing it them damn selves, but they don't want to. And I don't even understand why. I can't even process why. Other than psychologically I'm the scapegoated one, but what the fuck does that even mean to them? I guess it means that they're responsible for the pain that they caused me. And they don't want to be responsible for the pain that they caused me. The thing is the pain's in the past, most of it. I mean, other than every day waking up, not being in my apartment and not having my kid. That's pain I'm living with right now, every day. Every day I'm not in my apartment. Every day I'm not with my daughter. I've not been with my daughter for over a year. And they don't care. And I can't make them. So what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with that? Just like you have people that, like say somebody punches somebody. Okay, and say they don't want to feel the shame and they don't want to feel the guilt of, hey, I punched you, and they don't want to apologize for it. Okay. But don't come the next day and punch me again. And then punch me again, and then punch me every day for 5 years, and then just keep punching me. And expect for it to make me like you? Else stop punching me and maybe I'll start to like you eventually. Or maybe I'll just ignore you. If you can't apologize and be a decent person. But say you go to school and somebody keeps punching you every day and it's a classmate. Or, it's a classmate and you're in kindergarten, so you gotta see them all the way until you graduate. You gotta see them all the way. And they punch you for the first 5 years, and then finally one day they stop. Who knows, you might eventually start to like the person. You might eventually start to get along with the person. But my family don't stop. They just keep on hitting me. And it's like, oh, well, they don't want to feel the guilt and they don't want to apologize, and the bully that's been punching you for 5 years don't want to come to school and have to say that they're sorry. But they finally just one day just stop and they don't hit you no more. And so then from there on, like I said, you'll still see them, they'll still be around, they'll still be there. But you kind of ignore them. Or you'll actually start to like them and become friends with them. But my family just won't stop. They won't stop being abusive and manipulative. Mainly manipulative, because they can't really be too abusive right now. I'll give them that they haven't been able to be abusive as much for as far as physically since I was 11, and emotional abuse still occurs. Psychological. That's what this is that's going on. How do you stop it? I can't stop them. I've tried. So I just sit here and deal with it? Is this going to be my life? This is going to be my life? I don't want this to be my life. I don't want to sit here and stay with my grandmother and live with her forever and then have to wake up one day and find her dead and then have to listen to everybody bitch and everybody fight about her property and her belongings and who gets what. And then I'm sitting here, and I'm devastated because I'm the one that found her and I'm the one that has to call, and this and that. And then, my family's so fucking corrupt, I hate to say it, that they would probably be like, I wonder if she did something to her. Because I've heard the shit talk. My mom, my aunts, I've heard it all. And then I'd just be sitting here trying to figure out where the fuck I'm gonna go live. And then, say it was to happen right now, then, I can't go live anywhere with my pets. And so, then I have to give my pets up. And I else have to give them up to somebody, that I wouldn't see them no more. Or I have to give them up to my kid living with my parents. And then I'd have to worry about my dad beating them and killing them in front of my kid because she said no, or she stood up to him, or she said something that made him mad, or she turned him down whenever he climbs into bed with her and tries to cuddle with her. Because it's making her feel uncomfortable. This life is hell. I feel like I'm being suffocated to death. Oh God, my arm. Or then me sit here, another life option is me sit here and me keep stressing out the way that I am and me have a fucking heart attack or a damn stroke. I don't know, but I'm gonna end this video here because I didn't mean for it to be this long. Hope everybody's doing good. Take care. Keep putting your best foot forward and I'll catch you later.